line, and thanks be to Noi's magnetic charm.
Hello and welcome along to the preview for day 4 of Royal Ascot here on the Singapore Horse Racing Channel. Loads to look forward to on the penultimate day of the Royal Meeting, with the feature being the Commonwealth Cup for the 3-year-old sprinters over 1,200 metres today. But reflecting on yesterday, what a day it was indeed. The weather gods weren't overly kind to those that were on course, but the action certainly lit the whole scene up, that's for sure. And it was Stradivarius who took all the plaudits and all the honours yesterday afternoon at Ascot. What a performance in the Gold Cup. 3 Gold Cup victories now in the colours of Bjorn Nilsson for John Gosden, and Frankie Dettori once again in the saddle. And well, it was just a superb performance to behold, really. He never looked like getting beat, and it was a spectacular display of staying prowess in the blue ribbon of the Royal Meeting, the Gold Cup. And I'm sure he's got every chance of making it 4 in 12 months' time. But Stradivarius, a complete standout in yesterday's Gold Cup. There were a couple of winners for Jim Crowley, takes him to the top of the jockey standings with 6 winners. I mean, he's really taking all before him so far this year, and it could well get better for him with a couple more days still to go at Royal Ascot. There was a winner in the Cheshire, a very well-bred horse indeed, out of the Great Race Mare Found, Battleground. Now, he's an absolute monster of a horse, this guy, but he won that race extremely well, and he looks to have a huge future, as you'd expect, coming from the establishment he does and with the pedigree he has on his side. And there was a winner for Hayley Turner, who we saw here in Singapore a couple of years ago, riding at the International Jockeys Challenge, and she managed to win the Britannia yesterday, the last race at odds there of 33-1 for Charlie Fellows on Nasius, winning the Britannia there for Hayley. So well done to Hayley. She was out of luck when she rode here at Cranji, but certainly knows how to ride winners back at home, and she certainly is one of the leading female jockeys, I think you'd agree, all around the globe. Group 1 winning Hayley Turner. As far as the trainers go, Roger Varian with the 4 winners, John Gosden also on 4, and Aidan O'Brien with 3. I think he can strengthen his position today as well. The going is soft over at Ascot. Plenty of rain, as we saw last night for us, and the going is currently soft. So there would be a few little question marks around 1 or 2 horses, perhaps with certain preferences for going here on day 4. But the feature, as I say, is the Commonwealth Cup. It's over 1,200 metres, and one of my best bets comes up in that race. And I'm sure, as you're fully aware by now, the format, I give 4 best bets throughout the day. Yesterday, Monarch of Egypt, a great run from him in defeat, really. He came from last to nearly first at one stage, and was only just outpointed in the Jersey in the end by Mulhatham, who incidentally paid a better return on the Singapore pools than at the returning price there in the UK. Paid around about 6.8 to 1, and he returned 11 to 2. So good value to be had on Singapore pools. As far as today is concerned, I start in race 2, the Albany. There's a filly here called Golden Melody, and I saw her win at Haydock not so long ago, just over a week ago. She was pretty smart there by the looks of things. She took a bit of time to finally get the idea of the game, but once she did, she went away to win quite nicely under hands and heels. I think she's a nice type going forward. Willie Haggis trains her, and James Doyle is having a great Royal Meeting, will be in the saddle. So Golden Melody in the 850, the Albany, I think has got a very strong chance there, and there has been good money for her as well back in England. The 10 o'clock is the Hardwick Stakes. It's over 2,400 metres of Group 2. And in this race, I like last year's English Derby winner Anthony Van Dyke. And there are question marks about his participation. So I would just monitor that if you are fancying Anthony Van Dyke. There are concerns on the ground, but he is a winner on soft ground, and they might take their chance, potentially, because last time out he was second to Gaiath in the Group 1 Coronation Cup, and the horse that was third behind him, I'm sure you all know who that was, and that was Stradivarius, who absolutely bolted in yesterday. He's a class horse, Anthony Van Dyke. He, for me, is more than good enough to win the Hardwick at Group 2 level. He's been campaigned in Group 1s throughout the majority of his career. And if they do let him take his chance, if it does dry out a little bit, that will help his chance as well. But Anthony Van Dyke for me in the Hardwick Stakes, I think has got a very strong chance there. Elikam would probably be a big danger to him. There isn't a great deal between those two in the market. And Elikam, in fact, out of the great race mare Attraction, who has produced numerous winners since she went to stud. The 10:35 is the Commonwealth Cup. This is the Group 1 feature on the fourth day. I'm going to go with Lope Fernandez here for Aidan O'Brien. And I had a good long look at this race. There are some very smart horses in this. Pierre Lapin, who's unbeaten in 2 last year as a juvenile, he'll be one of the favourites as well. Look, it's a tough race. Favourite currently is Golden Horde for Clive Cox and Adam Kirby. He would obviously have every chance as well. But with Lope Fernandez, he was placed in the Irish Guineas last time, so we know he'll certainly see out the trip well. He's coming back in distance from a mile to 6 furlongs. Second in the Chesham last year behind Pinatubo, so he's got course form. And the third horse in the Chesham last year, I know it's 12 months ago this form, but Highland Chief, who won yesterday at Ascot. So the form's rock solid. He's won a couple on easier going, so I think he'll handle the surface okay. And Aidan O'Brien won this with Caravaggio a few years ago as well. So look, in a race that I thought looked pretty tough, loads of chances, Lope Fernandez was the selection for me in the feature, the Commonwealth Cup. And for all, I'd be very keen on him. It wouldn't surprise me if it was a great finish and there were plenty involved. But Lope Fernandez for me on top, Pierre Lapin, Golden Horde, a couple there to chase him home. And in the 11:10, the Queen's Vase. This is the horse I'm probably strongest on throughout the course of the meeting today. And this is Berkshire Rocco, quite incidentally, Ascot obviously in that county. Second in the Derby trial last time behind English King, which looks a very smart horse, one of the favourites for the Derby coming up very soon back home. But this horse shaped like this extra distance would suit him. The Derby trial is over just shy of 2,400 metres. This race is a further couple of furlongs, so 2,800 metres for this race. And look, I think he's got a very strong chance. Andrew Balding knows what it takes to win this race. Won it last year with Dashing Willoughby, and I think he's got a good chance. This horse, Berkshire Rocco. I think going up in trip's going to suit him, and don't be surprised with a bold show. This race formerly over 2 miles, now back to 1.75 miles, and I think this is right up his street, this horse, and I think he's a real big player on the fourth day. And just one other side note. I haven't included it in my 4 top picks, but there's a horse in the last, the Duke of Edinburgh, Scarlet Dragon. Now, this race is wide open. They're going probably 6-7 to 1 the field here for this. This horse will be a big price. But I have a little saver each way, I think, would be the advice with him, Scarlet Dragon. He'll handle the ground. He stays strongly. And I just think in what looks a wide open race, you can do a lot worse than back one at decent odds there. So just to recap my 4 picks for today on day 4, I'm going to go Golden Melody in the 850, the Albany. I think she's every chance in that. The 10 o'clock, the Hardwick, Anthony Van Dyke, the Derby winner. I hope he does take his chance, and hopefully the ground won't inconvenience him too much. But just do err on the side of caution there. He is a better horse on quicker ground, so they say. The 10:35, the Commonwealth Cup, Lope Fernandez for me. Aidan O'Brien trains him in what looks a really competitive, good race as well, that. And the 11:10, the Queen's Vase, Berkshire Rocco, I think will be the one to go with there. Obviously, as I say, Monarch of Egypt yesterday we were unlucky with, running second. He was only just pipped on the post in the end, but hopefully we'll fare a bit better today. Once again, 7 races coming up for you live on the Singapore Horse Racing Channel, and many thanks to the team back there at Kranji for working hard and putting all that together for us and being able to bring you that action on Channel 88. So we're not too far away from our first race coming up. I do hope you'll enjoy the coverage once again. Strap yourselves in, because it will be a bumpy ride, I'm sure, with all the action coming from Ascot once again here on the Singapore Horse Racing Channel. Good luck if you are having a bet, and remember, you're getting a bit of value on Singapore pools currently at the Royal Meeting for 2020. Do hope you enjoy day 4. From me and all the team, we wish you well and good luck.